You're listening to the Myerson Line. Life cycles, bicycles, fast lines, and hot takes.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Myerson Line podcast. We are part of the Wide Angle Podium Network, which includes the Slow Ride podcast, Kids Don't Follow, Crosshairs Radio, and the Honest Bicycle program. You can go to wideanglepodium.com to hear past episodes, hear the other podcasts, and give us your money. It is a subscription service, NPR style. It obviously is free to listen, but if you're digging it and you'd like to pay us for our time, we will gladly accept your money, and you can make a donation or subscribe to the shows there. Spencer's also encouraged me to think about having sponsors for the show, which is something this is one of those things where I do it anyway, but we're not opposed. We'd probably accept some sponsorship. It's nice to get paid for your time. With that in mind, I did not pay for his time tonight. He is donating to us his time. We have the esteemed, I called you incomparable, the incomparable Rahsaan Bahati here with us from California. Welcome, Rahsaan. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Adam.
Yeah, no worries. Like I told you, I wanted to have you on the show from the beginning when I made a list of people that I wanted to talk to, and I thought would be fun for me, and also something people would be really pumped to listen to. You were one of the first guys on my list, and when we saw each other this weekend at Glencoe, reminded me that I really wanted to talk to you. And we only got a couple minutes to talk there during the race, but I sometimes think we only have to say a couple things to each other, and we know exactly. Just complaining about the kids together, So it was good to see you. That race is hard. Maybe we can talk about Glencoe tonight. I think that'd be a great topic to jam out on. So I think
we could talk a lot about
race. And yeah, you know what? I'd like to talk about what the hell we're still doing out there. I think you and we're sort of doing the same thing out there, and I'm interested in hearing about how it's going for you, and what motivates you to stay out there. So we will definitely talk about that. We're going to aim for an hour. We could probably talk for 3 hours, and not exhaust topics. So I'll try and move us along as quickly as we can, but feeling we'll get going on the topic, and we'll just I think we'll tear it up for a while, and it's going to be really good. So I'm excited. Yeah. Let's start with my traditional start of the show, which is usually how we met the first time we encountered each other. Do you recall? And I usually put that guest on the spot. Do you recall the first time we met, or do you recall becoming aware of me, or even just like when we became friends? Be frank about it. Like, it's okay. Don't hold back. Yeah.
Man, I do not remember. Over the last, I would say, 4 to 5 years, I remember you more from competing against you, but I can't remember the first time we met, or even the first time we quacked in a race. Outside of the last 3 or 4 years, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's how it goes in the sport, where you're circling races together. You're checking in at the office together, and there's an awareness. But this happened with Ashley too. Mm-hmm. It happens over time. I do remember my first memory, I feel like, of being aware of you, and I also remember what I think is probably our first conversation. I'm aware of you, I think, because when you won amateur crits, when you were, I can't remember if I was in that race, but I don't think I was. I think it was the next year at Downers Grove where you came back, and I was like, oh yeah, this kid won the race when he was a junior. Like, I remember that happened. That's when you got, let's say, on my radar.
Yeah.
And you were probably riding for Mercury at that?
That was either 99. That was 2000.
You were like it.
Now I wonder.
I got your Wikipedia page open because I know we're old enough to forget these dates. When you won amateur nationals, it was in 2000. It was your last
My
year
last
as a
year as a
junior.
junior. Yeah. Hey, Adam, if you could hear me, your picture went out and it says audio only.
I can hear.
And you sound like a robot if you can hear me.
And so, bam, just resumed the recording. So my phone was working great for a while, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. And so
You ran
now
out
I'm
of
back.
data, man.
Maybe. So I apologize. This may be the last time we use Blab. Unfortunately, it's a great concept. You can see like the format is great. It just doesn't
pretty
fucking.
cool. I like
it doesn't work. We always have problems. And fuck you, Spencer. I'm paying a lot of money for fast internet these days. But yeah, I live in the hood. I live in the hood, and they don't care. We have one service provider because it's Dorchester, and like there's no competition because no one wants to like line things down here. Anyway, where we left off was we were talking about that Buhani sprint, and you were saying how exciting it was. And I agree. It was awesome to watch. And I don't know, maybe it was over the line. I didn't see anyone take their hands off their bars. I kind of feel like as long as you leave your hands on the bars, you're fine.
I was taught the same way. Keep your hands on your bars. Never take them off. Take them off, you cross the line,
Yeah, that's the line, right? Like, you headbutt a guy, it's fine. If you're going to chop a guy, make sure he has an exit. Never take him all the way to the fence. You got to leave a hole. You got to leave him a choice. There have to be escape routes. Yeah. In all of my years of bike racing, only one person has actually attempted to crash me, and I have never intentionally tried to crash anyone. Like it just doesn't happen that often.
Mm-hmm.
You always leave someone a choice. They can put their brakes on, or they can decide if they want to try and go through the tiny little hole that they left them. But I don't know. There's a code, right? There's etiquette
for sure.
So I thought the etiquette in the Bahani sprint, I thought the etiquette that was broken was Buhani tried to split the Katusha train. He tried to actually he got in their train. He didn't get on the back.
It was hard to tell because they both wear red. At first I was like, okay, who's fighting who? Whose will is what?
Yeah. Agreed. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Very confusing, let's say. I'd say in the U.S., like my main beef has sometimes been with Hilton and the excessive, let's call it sweeping that Hilton does at the back of the UHC train. And then the fact that he's taught that to other guys who ride the same way. And then it forces everyone to have to ride that way, and the riding up the inside when you're doing the lead out, like Mercury started that, and Mercury would send 10 guys to the races and then only go as fast as they had to. Mm-hmm. They did that by riding up the inside. No one ever did that before. UHC obviously has perfected it, much to our dismay. But anybody coming up right now you see that you like? Who's impressing you right now?
Man, it was so funny. I watched the call-ups from the Winston-Salem race on the internet. And like out of the 20 guys they called up, I knew like 2. I'm really removed from who's who and who's the next, best thing to come through the crit scene. I really don't know, we get a chance to see like McCabe and Marcotte and those guys compete because they're competing on a bigger stage. But when it comes to like the crit series, I have no idea. Obviously the kid who won Glencoe is, I would say he's definitely proven himself. Brandon, is that his name?
You're thinking about Ryan Aitchison.
Aitchison, yeah. He's, I think I saw him win a couple races last year. I know he won Athens this year, and then to win Glencoe off the front. That's pretty amazing. But I really don't know. Being that I'm friends with Justin and Corey, I hold them at a high standard, and I've expressed to them how disappointed I've been with them, especially Corey. I took him to breakfast after Redlands as if he was my child, and like tried to talk some sense into him. It's like, you're missing a golden opportunity right now. And what really pissed me off, and I was happy for the kid who won. I forget what stage it was, but there's a kid that was on the Harley Davidson team. He won a stage in Redlands.
Yeah.
Was it Oak Glen? Or maybe it was the Circuit Race Highland. He won one of them. And he's like 21. I think he was a mountain biker. Yeah, and I'm just like, Corey, and that's supposed to be you. Now. And then Yeah, see? That was my point there. Look what happened. Look.
Yeah. Listen, I think those guys don't want to hear it. Yep. I spent a lot of time with Justin last year. I felt like I put a lot of effort into Justin. I feel like I cared a lot about him. I can see how talented he was. He suggested that he was open to support and feedback. And, my job on the team is to invest in those guys and help them get better. And, let's just say that there's a pattern there that they are repeating. And if they don't break that pattern, they're just going to keep riding circles in Southern California. We know how good those guys are. And I think Justin is a kind-hearted guy who, when he wants to work hard, he can work hard. He certainly has a lot of belief in himself. I don't know Corey as well, but so it's not fair necessarily to lump him in, but you're having the same experience with Corey that I had with Justin. The way things ended with Justin, like, he was supposed to come to Boise, and on Wednesday, he told the team he wasn't coming because he scheduled some kind of surgery, like to get rods out of his collarbone or something like that. Like on a Wednesday, like he had a plane ticket for a race that was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I never talked to him again.
Yeah.
Literally, he never went to another race. I noticed that he had unfriended me and unfollowed me on all social media. Like, we didn't have a falling out. He just I don't know. It's like he made some kind of choice. Like, he circled the wagons. He doesn't like being criticized, that's for sure. And even when you're not criticizing him, you're trying to help him, right? It sounds like you had the same situation with Corey.
Yeah. And what you said, I mean, with the kid going to rally, that was exactly why I had a conversation with him. And I told him before Redlands, I said, San Dimas is cool. Winning bike races are cool, no matter where you win them, right? San Dimas is cool, but win at Redlands. Redlands has deep tradition, Win there, you're going to get noticed. I reached out to George Hincapie last year to try to get Corey on the team. And he was straightforward. We want road race.
They're on a
Kenny road race. I said, he's getting better. Yeah, he's getting better and better, All right. So I said, Corey, this is the year. Winning crits is cool, but you got to show him you can climb too. You can get over these, and compete in the finish. And that's why I was so disappointed at him at Redlands for, I don't even know if he didn't make time cut or if he got dropped or if he dropped out. I don't know what happened, but he didn't complete it, and it was so disappointing. And I never throw this in his face, but people always try to compare me to Justin and to Corey. And I'm just like, I think the reason we're on different levels is because I was headstrong, I think I just wanted it more than they did,
They think they want it. They think that they're headstrong. And this is maybe my criticism. Like, they talk a good game, and they're very, there's a lot of bravado there. Mm-hmm. And it's only occasionally backed up. And I feel like you backed your shit up. Your bravado came from the fact that you got results, and then you could talk shit, But also, why do they compare him to you? Like, there's lots of sprinters in SoCal. Like,
because we're black, man.
I know, exactly. That's my point. Like, what? There's I don't even know what to say. Like, that's an easy one, right?
I'm not bashing them. We're friends. We live 4 miles away from each other. On my way home, I have to pass their house, and I stop there every day. I want the best for them. I really do.
Agreed. And maybe they'll listen to this, or someone will tell them about it and tell them we were talking about them. If they do listen to this, I want to say I haven't talked to Justin. Again, best result of my season last year is thanks to Justin and his hard work. I absolutely appreciate it. I don't regret any of the time I spent trying to help Justin get better. I had a really good time on the road with him. I don't understand some of the choices that they make, but I only wish them the best, and I hope that they're both successful, even if they don't see that or believe it. That's the truth of what's in my heart. So I hope they understand.
What's the kid who just won the pro road race?
Greg, someone help us out in here. I'm blanking on his last name. Greggy Daniels.
Is it Daniels?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, in a group text, a buddy of mine took a screenshot of it. He texted me, Justin, Corey, a couple other people. He said, "Corey, this could have been you, but you too busy riding 2 hours a day." It was funny, but it's the honest truth, right? It's like,
yeah. I think they got right. SoCal. They got the SoCal. It's in my mind, they got the SoCal pro. They're SoCal pros, and if they stay home and race SoCal races, they can keep being, champions of the world, as long as their world is only SoCal sized. If they want to have success outside of that, I don't know. They got to do something different.
They got to leave. They have to leave SoCal. That's what has to happen. And I'm trying to convince Corey to do it, and he's just
Justin tried. Justin tried. I don't really know. I don't know where it went wrong. I don't know why. There's some piece of that I do not have my head around, that I don't understand, that triggers the failure. And it's a pattern, right? We could have a whole show about this, but you just look at the teams that he was on and the progression or regression of his career. I hope he figures it out. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's time for the most important question of the night. The one that we ask all of our guests. What is your favorite Prince song?
I
can't believe you didn't prep for this.
I didn't, and I saw your question too. And to be frank, I was never a huge Prince fan. Just wasn't.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean,
you see, follow Adam in the comments there. I think you're letting him down.
I just, I would listen to him. Of course, my parents listened to him, but yeah, I mean, the one that just stands out is Purple Rain. Of course, I could hear that song like it's playing now.
Rahsaan, not every black man is funky. It's just sometimes how it goes. I think the expectations were high, but it happens.
It happens, man. Yeah, my mom was listening the Gap Band, Anita Baker.
I don't roll with your parents. Your parents are probably closer to my age than you are.
Yeah. Still Pulse. That's what my mom used to play on the weekends when we were cleaning the house. I remember hearing a lot of Prince.
That makes sense, because in all seriousness, your parents. How old are your parents? They must.
My dad just turned 64, and my mom's 62.
Yeah. So same. Your parents are my parents' age, and actually, my parents listened to a lot of soul music. We grew up with soul and R&B in the house too. So yeah, that makes sense. Prince is for the kids. She's that was kids' music for them, I'm sure, but. We'll accept Purple Rain. It's there isn't a bad answer here, like I said, but I think there was some expectations. People had some expectations here that we were going to get a deep cut from you, but I mean, you did go to college in Indiana. That's whitewashing right there. They just washed the black right out of you once you.
Yeah, I think I kept a little on me.
All right, man. Well, despite the technical difficulties, let's hope the audio comes out good. But this is good. We covered some good stuff, and I appreciate you rushing home for us and taking the time out of your day to talk about bike racing, about life, about the Bahati Foundation. If people want to check out the Bahati Foundation, learn more about it, check out what the mission is, where do they go? How do they find that out?
BahatiFoundation.org. We have a mission statement there, and you can see our latest news. You could also check out BahatiRacing.com, which is a for-profit business that's helping the nonprofit. So my goal is to make money and enough money to support my own cause. So that's why I have two entities going on.
Yeah. Well, when you work at a nonprofit, you still got to get paid for your work. Sometimes people forget that,
Yep. Absolutely.
Even if it's charity, you got to get paid to work at the charity. Doesn't have, you still got to eat. You don't eat, there's no Bahati Foundation. So
absolutely.
We'll stick around after I pause the recording, but yeah, thanks again for coming.
And, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. And thanks to everybody who tuned in live. And for the people listening to the podcast later, I hope the audio is good and you really enjoy it. So thanks, everyone.